Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at Rotlop Fan from the Green Lanterns Movie Master line. Kind of a weird character choice, just given that I don't recall him having a really massive impact in the comics or anything. In fact, the only comic book appearance I really recall seeing him in, although granted I'm not a huge Green Lantern fan or anything, was in a Best of Alan Moore collection where they had the origin story of how we joined the Green Lantern Corps. Nonetheless, despite being a movie figure, I believe this is actually kind of close to his appearance in the comics, probably because he was an unconventional looking character in the first place. Hold on a second and I'll get him out of pack. Rotlop Fan comes with, well, I guess an appendage of Parallax. Can't really tell if these are his arms, his legs, his tendrils, his whatever, but all the same, it's just a really neat looking attachment. Although on the whole, I don't think I've been terribly impressed with the images that I've seen of Parallax for the entire Collect and Connect figure. The individual parts are in fact really decent looking, and it looks like the sort of thing that you might be able to really have fun with in terms of display and then just messing around with this. I'm having fun already. Also just really hoping that you can sort of mix and match for the Collect and Connect. At any rate, well, after spending about a minute just talking about this part here, let's discuss the figure that he comes with. Now, for those of you not familiar with Rotlop Fan, I could probably understand that, but from what I know of him, he comes from a world with no light or anything, so all the inhabitants are blind. Now, when a Green Lantern goes to recruit him, this does present some problems, particularly in the Oath, because he has no conception of light, no conception of color, all that, so they customized his Oath. He gets a custom costume with a little bell symbol and stuff here. And his constructs all basically involve sound. Now, the Oath is, in loudest din or hush profound, my ears hear evil's slightest sound. Let those who toll out evil's knell beware my power, the F-sharp bell. And of course, understandably, again, all of his projectiles and constructs have to do with sound. Now, on one hand, this is a really cool concept. On the other, it basically means that all the oaths and secret sayings and every stuff that the Green Lanterns employ are basically useless, because you can just say anything to get the desired effect. Some of your mileage may vary with all that. But again, this is kind of basically how the character appeared in the comics. I mean, I know that he's looked somewhat different in some appearances just from the few images that I've seen of him, but they all basically do look just like this. It's just the head might extend a bit further in some. Now, in general, I've never really liked the Movie Masters line all that much, just because the figures and stuff, in terms of detail, just seem to strike me as looking a bit cheaper. This is not too much of an exception. I mean, if you look at it, it's just one solid piece throughout the body. It's got a bit of paintwork and stuff here. You'll notice that the color has some shadowing, but on the whole, it just has a really sort of cheap look to it, and I don't know, it might just be my impression or whatever, and that's sort of why I was turned off by this line. And even the fact that you have a really huge Collect and Connect wasn't enough to entice me at first, until I started seeing these things kind of go on sale a bit, and then I did decide that I kind of wanted the Collect and Connect. I mean, that's really petty stuff that I shouldn't be talking about at this point. I'll discuss that when I actually get around to building Parallax, assuming I ever do. A quick run through of articulation. He's got a lot of ball and socket joints, starting off with the wrist here. Really cool range of motion and stuff. It would have been neat if he had individual articulation on the fingers, but again, Movie Master's line doesn't really go all out like that. Ball and socket here at the elbow. We have some, I guess, kind of bicep articulation. Sort of weird placement. Nothing for this whole part of the body. Again, it's just a solid piece. I did mention the shoulders, didn't I? No, I did. And then we have point down here at the hip for the leg, ball socket, point here at the upper thigh, then a ball and socket down here at the knee, although you will end up moving the thigh when you do it. Now he's a somewhat unevenly weighted figure. You'll probably need to balance out with the fingers just to get him to stand half the time. I mean, I'm sure there are some ways you can probably get him to stand sort of evenly if you just get the center of balance going correctly. The felt doesn't really help things much here. And he does look kind of cool in this sort of leaning and crouching poses, although he's just such a really different looking character that I can kind of understand why some people, if not why, some people might be turned off by the figure. I kind of do actually like this though, so, you know. All the same though, it's probably a figure I never would have given a chance if not for the fact that he came with the Collect and Connect piece. Or, you know, the fact that he was on sale. I mean, yeah, kind of neat figure. The rest of the line, well, I'll probably be picking up at least part of it, but I expect to have some really mixed feelings on these figures. But yeah, this has been a look at Rotlop Fan. Not terribly in depth, but there's not a whole lot to this figure. There is, however, a whole lot of coolness with this Collect and Connect piece. Ooh. It's also cool because if you do recall, the Sinestro Corps doesn't get many energy constructs, and you know, if you're sort of displaying stuff, you can kind of pretend that this is one of their constructs. Of course, there's no way you can really get the thing to latch around the arm. You'd probably have to... Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud and rambling. But yeah, until next time, folks.